Justin A. Game and I were hanging out at this piano recital when he starts humming. Quite loudly, I might add. I ask him, keeping my voice low so as to be polite. I ask him if he could stop humming. "Aren't you curious what I'm doing?" he asks. "No," I say, but he goes on anyway. "I'm creating counterpoint. That's when two lines of music overlap. There's the line created by the piano, and there's the line created by my humming." So I roll my eyes, and Justin continues. "Hey, doesn't that happen in video games? I bet you it happens in Space Harrier too." It was at that moment, right after I had the inspiration to throttle Justin's throat, that I realized he was right. Space Harrier 2 will often have two enemy squads flying around on screen at once, and it's like each squad is its own line of music. That's because each squad follows its own path, and you've got to follow both paths at once. Or heck, even if you've just got one enemy squad, and then a bunch of random bushes, it's like the enemies are one line of music, and the bushes are a different line. You need one strategy to deal with the bushes, one strategy to deal with the enemies, and you need to take both strategies into account at one time. Combining those strategies is like combining lines of music. You get a whole new gameplay scenario, and a whole new bar of music. With that in mind, in Space Harrier 2, it's to your advantage to reduce counterpoint. The more enemies you have hanging around at one time, the harder your life will be. It's easier to handle one layer than multiple layers after all. So if you kill all the enemies in a squad, you have one less line of opposition to worry about. You don't have to divide your attention as much. So check this out. In this wave, I'm already hanging out at the bottom to blow up all these bushes, and an enemy squad flies in along the bottom, right where I'm already firing. So it's like the one line, the bushes, lead right into the next line, the mecha adences.
Get ready.
But on this part, if I'm focusing on the trees, I'm not going to get those mecha adences as soon as I can. Even assuming I have the level memorized, and I know exactly where the mecha adences will spawn, I'll still have to choose if I want the trees dead or the mecha adences dead. In this case, the two lines conflict. I also want to mention that, I already had some words made up for this. I like thinking of Space Harrier levels like, poems. Each individual scenario is a line of the poem stage. Each foot of the line is one of the squads. So a group of mecha adences would be a foot, or a bunch of bushes would be a foot. And then, each individual enemy would be a syllable on that foot. But then, it turned out referring to squads as feet and enemies as syllables and scenarios as lines made me sound goofy.